Turn it up. It's The Record Machine with your host, Jimmy Hall.
Buckle up, 'cause I'm gonna tell you a story about a place called Whiskey Alley Blues.
Rockin' Johnny bought an axe, a 69 Fender Strat. Says it's gonna play his tunes down on Whiskey Alley Blues. But mama yells, go get a job. Says you ain't got the chops. Johnny knows he's got the feel. Packs his bags and disappears. Got on the hound, rode out of town, off to make the deal, the devil's deal. Rockin' Johnny Houston Heights, got the crossroads in his sight, and that's the last we heard of him. 6 months on, the lights are dim. One old evening, the alley's rocking. Johnny and his Strat come a knocking. Makes his way to the stage, yeah. Plugs his Strat and lets it wail. He rocked the house, blew the amps right out. That's when they know he's made the deal, the devil's deal.
And all around the crossroads.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the band Izzie's Caravan, please welcome Izzie to the program.
How's it going?
Hey Izzie, how you doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
Going good here, man.
Yeah, the new world, man.
I know, it's crazy. Hopefully we can get back to normal soon, you know?
Enough, yeah, man. We just want to inevitably take really put a damper on our plans because we were thinking that we'll take all these tunes out on the road soon, man. So that didn't work out too well for us, man.
I know.
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
I've talked to quite a few people over the last few weeks, and a lot of people have had releases that had just basically dropped right around the time this whole pandemic thing started, and it kind of stole their thunder. You know what I mean? Because it's like they can't even go out and share the live experience with people with their new music because everything's shut down.
Yeah, it really sucks for us because tonight, in fact, today is our pre-release for our new record, man, and pre-release for the video as well. So and the record comes out in a week. But I guess it gets, and it's really sad because this is my record, man. This is the record that I really wanted to make. So I'm really bummed out. Just sitting here and hoping. Making use of any digital tool to get it out there now. This was such a rock record. It was a pure live record, right? So that was really bummed me out. But let's see. Fingers crossed, man. Something good comes out soon. If not Christmas time, then I guess next summer for sure. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
How old were you when you decided that you wanted to be involved in music, and who inspired you?
Man, as far as origin points go, it's so clear. I still remember when I was, just being like a 4-year-old kid and listening to my dad play his records, right? Particularly stuff like Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, like that. So back then I knew that, and it was such a powerful influence, right? So I kind of knew that this inevitably was the guitar would somehow have something to do with my life. Because, I still remember when I heard it, right? I was like, what is this guy doing, right? And it's this absolute sonic onslaught, right? So for a kid, and I guess culturally as well, at least, coming from a slightly previous generation, I think we were lucky enough where we had that bleed through, where, the music that I grew up with sort of, came from our parents, right? And we sort of picked up on what they were listening to, and they picked up on what came before that. So there was that sort of continuity, right? Which hard to say if kids today have that level of continuity. And I think ultimately it stems to other things as well, right? Like the fact that when a record was released, you had that sort of material artifact, right? A CD was released.
The physical copies.
Yeah, absolutely, right? The good old days, right?
Yeah.
And it was sort of regimented that way, right? A band releases a record, goes on tour for a couple of years, you follow them on tour, then another record comes out, you buy the record, get in line. So, but that element is gone now, right? Hard to, like what we were just talking about, right? The fact that so many releases are coming out, and it's kind of tragic where a lot of bands aren't going to be able to go out on the road.
Right.
And they're sort of stuck releasing them as digital EPs, right? Or digital records. And that's ultimately YouTube, Spotify, and Apple are going to, again, sort of, take charge over this stuff, right? So it's a little strange in that aspect right now.
Yeah, I know. That's the terrible thing about it. Because it's not just the musicians who lose out too. It's all the people that work at the venues too. Like the concert halls and the outdoor venues and the stadiums and the bars and clubs. All those places are closed, so they're not making money, and the entertainers aren't making money, and so I guess we kind of rely on YouTube now and Spotify and stuff like that because we've been home for so long, and that's our only way of I guess being entertained, right?
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely, man. And in fact, I was just reading I guess what was that big summer stadium tour that what was it, Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Joan Jett and these guys were doing, and
the stadium tour.
And I guess that's been shelved till next year as well.
Yeah, I would think so. Because I can't imagine they're they're going to allow stadiums with between 60 and 80,000 fans, on top of each other. I can't imagine them doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of rough for them because I guess that was really picking up a lot of steam, man. I mean, I guess it was. It started off with 22 shows or something, and then it spread like wildfire across the state. But yeah, that's a real bummer for them. And I guess they waited till the end to pull the plug on that till next year. But yeah, it's tough for the venues and stuff out.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, if you would have told me that 2020 was going to start off this way, I would have been like, you're lying. You know what I mean? But it's funny, like, I don't know if you ever watched The Simpsons, but they kind of predicted a lot of stuff that happened like later on and like over the years. Like they predicted a pandemic like 10 years ago in 2020. That's crazy. Like that they predict stuff like that like 10 years ago and it actually happened now.
Which goes to show, man. I mean, maybe it's just human behavior must be so predictable.
I guess so.
I mean, and growing up, I mean, again, for us, right, Simpsons was the cultural. I mean, what was it? Seinfeld, Simpsons. Like, I mean, these are the big sort of. I mean, I remember when I was in Canada as well. Seinfeld, Simpsons. I mean, this was sort of like the cultural iconic shows at that time, right? And you're right. I mean, they sort of pretty much nailed it in terms of where human societies would eventually, end up, right?
Right. Now, do you have a band, a current band, and if so, who are the players in the band?
Yeah. There's initially, I mean, back in 2004, 2005, I used to be in Windsor, right? And that was, again, very close to Detroit and stuff. So I had a band there, and it was myself and Sim, who was the vocalist and rhythm guitar player, and there was Ray, who was the bass player. So we released a couple of records then, but then obviously that didn't pan out as we thought it would. Obviously, when you start out, you think every record is as good as writing Bohemian Rhapsodies, right? You listen to your CDs and you think every song on there is Dream On. And unfortunately, that's just a side effect of the cheap beer that you're drinking at that point.
Right.
So I stopped then. And then honestly, after that, for a decade or so, I didn't even pick up because I was so personally, I was very jaded, disillusioned by the whole sort of music scene. Just where music was headed, the guitar was becoming, I don't know, to me, when I look out and see the guitar, I thought, it seemed it became more and more of a piece of furniture for most people rather than have that sort of authenticity as a music instrument. So I actually let go of it. And just a few years back, courtesy of a couple of friends, I ended up picking it up. And that's when I really got back into it, right? So one thing led to another. And so in December of 2019, I ended up releasing Leo's Guitar, really straight up, very basic, bare bones blues record. And then, for some odd reason, I sort of got on a bit of a roll. And in February, I released Zephyrs, which was a very sort of Tom Petty inspired EP. Mm-hmm. And so when they came out, and there was some degree of traction, which they ended up getting, right? So I was like, okay, I didn't expect it. Honestly, I mean, sometimes I think all this is just one big grand accident, right? I never thought I'd be here, having this conversation with you. And when they start getting a little bit of traction and, there was some degree of feedback, like, this is, why don't you just, follow through with this, right? So that's when I decided, okay, this time I'll do it and I'll do it right. So one of the things that I really, really sort of pride myself on is the fact that when I started sort of this second coming of my music career was built on not just understanding the music or writing music, but it was going back to the root of what I really wanted to do, which was going back to the old school blues players, really sort of understanding guys like Clapton, and the fact that Clapton is influenced by Freddie King, who's influenced by so on and so forth, going back to the likes of Robert Johnson and these kind of guys, Lightning Hopkins, and then really sort of trying to understand what they were trying to do, right, in terms of not just the musicianship, but also cultural aspects aspect of where they were coming from, whether Mississippi, Delta, Texas blues, Chicago, and from some degree of an academic standpoint, even realizing or trying to recognize the history. So, for example, on this new record that's coming out, I actually call this, affectionately, I call this my Johnny Winter record.
Okay.
And the reason why I do that is because this new record is literally, I dove deep into the Johnny Winter catalog because this guy, he's just so phenomenal, right? And the fact that he still hasn't been inducted in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is just mystifies me every day. But not just mimicking Johnny Winter or anything, but it's trying to understand that sort of tonality, the song structure, that merges that perfect. This guy just had that absolutely perfect sort of amalgamation of blues and rock, right? Mm-hmm. So I think this record on the pole really sort of merges that element of blues and rock to that level of finesse that I personally want. So I call it my identity record because 15, 20 years from now, if you ever ask me what is the one record that stands out for you in your catalog of this one that's coming out, this is going to be the record that I'll always point. And obviously, everyone who releases a new record always thinks that's the best one they've done.
Right.
It's just, but you can hold me to this one. This one's going to be the one that I always sort of refer to as my identity record.
And this one's called The Pole, right?
Yeah, On the Pole. Yeah,
On the Pole. Excuse me. Yeah, a lot of blues titles in those songs, huh?
yeah. I guess if you just add the word blues there,
this 3 out of 4 have the word blues in the songs. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I was listening to it yesterday on the way to work, and I really enjoyed it. I wanted to ask you one thing though. Who do you listen to that's like current now? Is there anybody that you like now that's out that's newer?
Man, honestly, I've sort of
no, right?
I was trying to put that as sort of as
you can answer honestly, man. If you don't like the newer stuff, that's cool. I'm with you on that. I don't really like too many new people either.
Honestly, I think after Use Your Illusions came out, I honestly can't pick a record. Oh wait, Stadium Arcadian. I think Stadium Arcade, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think that was probably the only record that I actually bought after 1991, man.
Wow.
I honestly don't recall buying anything after that. Stadium Arcadium definitely, because that really stands out. That's when I still remember John Frusciante was just like killing it. But yeah, sorry, man. I think I went backwards, right? Mm-hmm. And I think again, it's sign of the times, right? I think it's just everything. The sound now is so fragmented and it's so hybridized, and there's sort of this compulsion that even if you play the blues, then it has to be merged with some degree of some element of modernity or post-modernity or something, which I don't agree with. To me, I'm actually okay with being typecast as a traditionalist in that, and I've sort of never had that fear that even though I do hear about it, that it's a little too traditional and it's never gonna sort of break the hegemony of these modern music, so-called music act or something, which is honestly fine. Because I guess then we sort of delve into that. We're sort of straying into that debate about art and entertainment, right? Is it about music or is it about likes and subscriptions and views? And so when you sort of enter that realm, that's okay. I'll take 100 views over 1 billion views.
Right.
Views which are authentically, honestly okay with listening to some degree of traditional rock blues, and I think that would mean far more to me than I don't know, getting 1 million views or making $1 million in YouTube, right? So it's okay,
Yeah, like when I say I don't like a lot of new music, I don't mean like the stuff they play on the radio, like the commercial stuff that's like popular right right now. There are a lot of bands that I love, especially the indie bands that MTS management sends my way all the time to have on my show. I think a lot of them are phenomenal, and it is new music. It's just they're not on commercial radio stations all the time and stuff like that. So I just wanted to clarify I don't mean I don't like new music. I love new music. I just don't think like the artists that they shove down our throats on these, top 40 radio stations today is like the best quality of music. That's what I was pretty much getting at.
Absolutely, man. In fact, just a few weeks back as well, I was on this other show, and one of the cool things was, when I was sort of checking out the website stuff, again, like with MTS artists and stuff, and I started listening to all these other indie blues acts and stuff, and they were brilliant. And I was absolutely done. I was like, wow, there's so much good music out there. And again, it's just that element of sort of, finding it, which is sort of becoming a little more challenging considering, the amount of videos that are uploaded on YouTube. And how do you find these artists, right? Including myself, right? How do I sort of, break through the mold of, that sort of influx of music that's being posted online every day? Mm-hmm. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it was, when I heard, I was listening to, I just, song after song, and I just put on sort of like a playlist, and absolutely brilliant blues artists, right? Again, courtesy of MTS and stuff. So when I heard these guys, I was like, wow, this is really, really good, right? So again, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of brilliant new music out there. It just again,
it needs to be heard. It needs to be heard. Yeah. People need to play it more. And the way I've always found new people, independent artists. I just joined groups on Facebook where indie artists post their videos and stuff like that. And then if I like the tune, I'd send them a message, say, hey, I do a radio podcast, and I'd love to have you on the show. And most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, they all are very like, hell yeah, I'm in, and they send me some tracks and a bio, and I have them on. I've had some guys on and gals 3 or 4 times. I mean, we've been friends for a couple of years now, just from doing that. You know what I mean? I love I love discovering, new music to share with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really, it's just a while back I was actually having a conversation with my friend. We were sort of discussing that, if let's say something like Pink Floyd came out today or Zeppelin came out today, would they be as big as they were back then? And and I was like, wow, that's just a difficult question to answer because again, it sort of goes back to the whole element of, well, how do you find these and it's sort of, it's interesting where we can sort of even tie this to the whole rock is dead debate, right? What was it, Jameson and prophetically declaring rock is dead and whatnot. I mean, again, see, like as far as the blues is concerned, I sort of feel that the blues has such an unshakable foundation, right? And it's grounded in such realism, right? That it'll, playing the blues and stuff, there's that compulsion of popularity somehow doesn't come into play, right? And I remember, what was it, Tom Petty, when he released a couple of his records towards the end of his career. And I was reading an interview of him, and he said, look, now that I have so many hits, I sort of don't have any compulsion to really write any hits. I just want to play this sort of bluesy stuff, and that's and it was phenomenal what they were doing. Right, the last couple of records that they released, very sort of non-commercial, none of that free-falling stuff. Right, and it was so great to listen to those records. So again, I guess the challenge is just finding the right avenues for bands like myself and and other sort of similar artists who are still grounded in that degree of identity preservation. That look, we're just a standard, straight up blues rock band, and that's it. If they get well and good, right? So it's fun that way, man. There's that sort of you're just so comfortable in your own skin that I think that's a good sort of starting point to ride the wave of criticism and getting the right avenues to put your music out.
Yeah, so
it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the one great thing about social media because it doesn't necessarily have to be played on FM or AM radio or satellite radio for that matter. I mean, most people can listen to the music, on Facebook or YouTube. And on the poll, pre-order is today. Is that how it's going down?
Yeah. It's actually today. Yeah, that's why I'm.
So how do we go about pre-ordering on the poll?
It's on tonight, tonight it's going to be pre-released on Apple, Spotify, and all the digital platforms. And then the official release is June 17th.
Okay.
And we're releasing the first single of the EP as well. It's called Drowning Man's Blues. So we're releasing the first video for that as well tonight. It will be up 12:30 p.m. on YouTube. So yeah, that's fun, man. And it's just honestly, this record like meant everything to me. Having released two previously, this one was a little harder to let go of in terms of even when I wrote this and recorded it, because it really sort of I think there was like a real leap into maturity of songwriting and getting that perfect sort of sound that I really really want. So it was really fun that way. So yeah, it's out. The pre-release is today, and the video, the first video for the single "Drowning Man's Blues" goes out today as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a website? Do you have a website that people can follow? Izzie's Caravan music and news and all kinds of updates.
Yeah. Anyone who's up for this, they can go to www.izziescaravan.com. That's IZZIES Caravan.com, and our website is loaded videos, interviews, music, blah blah, everything. I mean, there's so much to channel through that video. So yeah, they can on the web, go to the website. They can check us out on YouTube. They can, if need be, they can get us on Instagram, the Instagram.com/Izzies Caravan, SoundCloud. So yeah, all that stuff is out there. And yeah, it's really, anyone who's into classic blues and stuff, definitely pick it up. Give us a listen, have fun.
Any final thoughts before we go?
Yeah, just really excited about this record coming out now, man, and that's sort of like the big news that's going to keep us busy for a while. But considering that there's no sort of road activity, so the plan is to just get right back into it, and possibly most likely we'll end up releasing another record by Christmas. So yeah, man, just keep it busy, dude. And but hopefully people can visit the website and stuff and take a listen and like the stuff, man.
Well, I want to tell you, I really dig the tunes. I think they sound great so far. I burned all the EPs onto one CD, so I don't have to waste space on my discs. But I've been cranking it out in the truck the last couple of days, man, and I really dig it, and I wish you so much luck on the new release, and I look forward to hearing great things about you in the future. And anytime you want to come back on, buddy, you just let me know, all right?
I'd love to, man, absolutely. And thanks. That's honestly the greatest compliment I could get, because I always say this is literally get on the road and drive record. So the fact that you say you enjoy it in your truck, that literally means everything. Because it is such a car record. So thanks a lot just for that, man. Definitely, dude. I'll definitely be back on.
All right, brother.
I'd love. Yeah.
Well, thanks again for calling in. I really enjoyed the conversation, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy. All right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Take care, dude. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, take care, buddy. Bye bye.
Here we go.